Morning YouTube, and it is morning for a change. Whether it's morning where you are, I don't know. Hopefully there's not too much whistling. I've bought a new off-road helmet and I can hear a lot of whistling, so hopefully you can't. More about that in a little bit. Out with Tony on the trusty DRZ 400E. E for every time I ride it I fall off. And we're going to do a little bit of green laning. Tony knows a lot of the lanes, so I'm following him on his CRF 250 rally, the thing with the big old fairing in the screen on the front. But anyway, helmet, I bought I don't know if you say a Premiere. I know the camera's gaffer taped on with tape holding the mic cable. I wish they'd make the mic cables a bit shorter, but there you go. But I've got a Bell motocross helmet and goggles, and I found out last time we were out in the winter, the goggles, they don't so much, restrict your view is probably the wrong thing, but you don't have as much view to the front unless you're like tilting your head right down, which I wasn't, probably because I'm a spazzy rider. But I also had a problem with the goggles steaming up, and then done a couple of trails, I couldn't really see where I was going. You know, it was almost like open the throttle and just hold on and praying that you didn't hit anything too bad. So I was chatting to Tony, and he's got a, I think it's a Nolan, so with a normal visor, the same as this, which you might not be able to see it, but visor up, visor down. So I had a quick look online for something not stupidly priced, and these Premieres came up. I've never had one before, but they got good reviews. What's his name? John Milbank on Bennett's did a review. I think it was John Milbank anyway, and it got pretty good, you know, pretty good markup. Because it's an older lid, they're discounted at the moment, so I managed to get one for a very good price. So I thought I'd give it a go. So this morning, before we've headed out, I've chucked the GoPro on the side, gaffer taped the mic into the front, and let's see how it works. So you'll join me again, probably on my side in some mud somewhere, but let's see where we go. I think Tony had a plan for today, so let's catch you on a little bit when I can turn it off. Are we off? No, we're not, are we? I'm not sure this is actually the first byway. This is a tarmac road, but to give you an indication of when this was filmed, we had Storm Bart come through, well, come through the whole country last night. So there's a lot of leaves, whatever leaves on the trees, most of them are down now, and we're expecting to see maybe a few fallen trees or branches or whatever, so we're going to bear that in mind. But oh, here we go, we are, it's gripped, it's sorted, let's off-road. Now I've dropped the tyre pressures down a little bit. You know, it's like we all jump on the internet, we look on the forums, and I've dropped them down to 12 psi front and rear. I was running a little bit higher than that because it's not very rocky where we are. I'm not expecting any sort of pinch flats or anything like that, and obviously be careful over roots, but it is expecting to be muddy and crappy, so hopefully that'll give me just a little bit more grip, because I need all the help I can. And again, apologies for some huffing and puffing. No doubt there'll be a lot of huffing and puffing later when we're rolling down some stuff and I'm sort of working a little bit harder. And here we go, first little fallen bit. Oh, looks like we can get through there. Yeah, I expect it's going to be quite a lot of that today. But with the pressures down, I say it does feel a little bit better. We're not got to any boggy stuff yet. Yeah, this helmet, just to add a little bit to it, it's a flip front, Premiere flip front helmet with a peak. So it's sort of motocross off-roady adventure styly. But so far I've got a lot more visibility than with goggles. and it comes with a pin lock insert, so hopefully I can keep the visor down a little bit longer in the winter, and the visor should stay fairly clear. It should be alright, so let's see how we get on. But this is quite a nice little route. It's nice just to, I mean, it's nothing technical, you know, we're just riding down a trail, but sometimes it's just nice to get out with your mates and do a little bit of plodding down some lanes. You know, it's fairly sort of relaxing at the moment, which will do me, to be fair. It's nice just to ride gently every now and then and not be feet up and not be one of these we'll call them morons that go out in groups of 10, 15, 20 people and they absolutely fly down the lanes. Bollocks, wet foot or wet boot. Fly down the lanes like it's you know, an enduro stage or something like that. They do no one any favours. So we are plodding around today, and let's see where it takes us. But yeah, the tyre pressure's down a little bit. They were sort of 4 or 5 psi higher previously, which was probably way too high, if I'm honest. And I should have checked that, schoolboy error. But it does seem better. Obviously it's rubbish on tarmac. The pressures are very low for tarmac because you want to be running a little bit higher normally. Oh, I know we are, and this is Pilgrims Way, isn't it? Of course it is. Right, I'm going to bung the camera off until the next little bit of off-road, and we'll see where we get on. Right, let's get poked through these leaves. Catch you all soon. And this is the next part. This is Charing, so we're just rejoining at Charing. And I remember along here, this is slippery. I did this this part last year on the 250 RS this time of year. I know it's not a perfect bike for Greenlaning, but you know, it did the job. It was quite a laugh on it until I obviously bought this and have something a bit more dedicated. But you do get quite a few dog walkers down here, so again we'll be taking it nice and steady. But I think last time I came along here it literally was like ice. It was really slippery. It's not exactly grippy today, if I'm honest. But this is a well used route along here. Oh, hello, what we got? Yeah. So let's go have a quick look, see if we can get under that. Looks like we can. Not ideal, is it? Oh, we're through. Better bend my mirror back. Check for water on the lens. We're good to go. It's a day like this when you could probably do with packing a little fold away saw so we could cut that down, but we got nothing with us. And as long as it's clear for bikes and walkers to get past, I guess we're going to be leaving it as it is for someone who's a bit more prepared to shift it out of the way. So we've got nothing with us. I'll stand up. Only because Tony's standing up. Yeah. I'll tell you what, tyre pressures do seem to have worked. I've been thinking about getting a set of mousses for this. I think it's sort of a couple £100, something like that. But obviously you got no risk of flats, you know, pinch punctures or punctures from thorns or anything like that. So I may well do that at some point, and just to see what they're like. The only worry at the moment is obviously these leaves where they've blown with the storm last night, where they're piled up, you can't see what's underneath, and some of them when they're running diagonally across the trail, as we all know, there could be a nice big fat diagonal route that runs underneath that, and if you can't see it and you hit it at an oblique angle, well, you know, I'm going to fall off basically, because it is just going to swipe the front away. Now this looks nice and smooth, but it is actually very slippery. The bike is moving around quite a lot, but it's dry up here. I'm really surprised. Yeah, it's dry. Well, I say dry as in it's not big puddles, so I'm supposed to be thankful of that. It's not boggy and crappy. But I know that there's a few climbs and rooty sections along here, so we'll have to play that by ear. But no, this is, at the moment, this is alright. This is quite nice. I know off the A20, the other side, on the way back to Ashford from Charing towards Ashford, on the right hand side there's another boat along there, which I went down last summer. There was a burnt out car along it that obviously had probably been stolen and dumped that the farmer hadn't shifted, but hopefully that'll be gone by now, because obviously farmers have got businesses to run. Oh, God, bollocks. When you stall with stumpy legs, it's that risk of dropping the bike over. Yeah, Tony was obviously making sure I got it. Oh, I've broken a clip on my boot. How have I managed that? Obviously caught it on something. Now this is slippery. Yeah, this is slippery now. It's where the chalk is and the water, so it does permeate through the chalk. That was a long word for this morning, wasn't it? But chalk is very slippery. I'm surprised we're not seeing any walking dogs. If you look over to the left there, that's the A20 that runs between Ashford and Maidstone. Well, it runs further than Maidstone, but we're running parallel to the park between Ashford and Maidstone. But yeah, the bike's moving around, and it's actually windy up here. You probably can't hear it, but the wind is whistling through. So it's whistling through my knackers now. I'm standing up with my motocross trousers on. Whee! It's one of those days where it feels like you've got a pair of flat tyres. Anyone that rides off-road will probably know what I mean, because it's the bike's moving around a lot. You know, it's sort of constant little movements as it's sliding around. Right, out of the woods. This is slippery. I just saw Tony slide then. I was going to switch the camera off, but I think I'll keep it running, because it is proper slippery and everyone likes a bit of crash action. I've seen this house before. They got a nice little old XKR there. I say old, I guess it is old, but the guy must run it up this track to get out, I would guess, unless he's got a lane beside his house. Do you know what, I didn't look. He probably has, because he's not going to come this way, is he? But this is slippery today. Let's leave the camera running. It's always that it's that balance between switching the camera off, because that bit of the trail looks a bit dull, to leaving it running and catching something that's going to happen, like me slinging the bike on the ground. I know when we went out last time, I posted a video probably a couple of weeks ago now, The one route that was the hardest route we did, I didn't actually bloody video it because I switched the camera off and we turned onto it and I hadn't ridden it before, and once we got going there was absolutely no opportunity for me to take a hand off the bars to press the camera, and I couldn't stop because I wouldn't have got going again. So I was really gutted about that because it was a really well, for me it was quite a hard technical route. You can probably hear I'm starting to puff a little bit because, as I say, you can't see it on the camera, but the bikes are constantly moving on this chalky surface. So it is lots of constant, you know, body and weight movements and all that sort of stuff that you just don't see. So it's like riding on ice, it really is. But at least on ice you know when it's going to be slippery. But although my tyre pressures are low, going back to that, this bike has got rim locks, front and rear, so you can run at low pressures without the risk of the tyre sliding and moving around on the bead. On the rim. The bead moving on the rim, to be more precise. Right, back to the tarmac. Let's bung the camera off, save a little bit of battery when I can press the button. I haven't pressed it, have I? Oh well. It's only a short bit of tarmac. Let's leave it running. I need to try and remember to loosen my grip on the bars, because every now and then I'm just conscious that I'm gripping the bars quite tightly, and my right hand, I can feel it start to ache a little bit. It doesn't help with my little finger being a little bit wanky from breaking it or dislocating it on this in the summer. These routes are slippery because obviously, funny enough, when I took some physio, the physiotherapist said 50% of your grip in your hand comes from your little finger, and I doubted that. But then if you actually grip a handlebar with 3 fingers, then grip it with a little finger, it's a big difference. So, well, he's the guy with all the letters after his name. It's probably true. But I have been strengthening my little finger, so I have got pretty good grip now, and he's signed me off, which is nice. So it doesn't cause me any real issues anymore. Bit of tarmac. Now let's try and turn the camera off. I think Tony's just checking out the signs, having a look at it, see what it says.
This always was a byway for cars.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want me to check it on the byway map? Alright, let's do that. Right, wait in a sec. Right, you joined us on the A20. We weren't sure about that, so we dropped down to the A20. We're just paralleling along now from what I think is the route up on the downs there, the Pilgrims Way. So we're now Lenham to Harrietsham. The other reason for putting this on is to see how noisy this helmet is at. What are we doing? We're doing a whopping 70k, 45 miles an hour, something like that. So let's bang it back on when we get up to Harrietsham, where we can rejoin the lanes. When I turn it off. A20, we're just coming up Steed Hill from Harrietsham, and we're looking for the byway on the left hand side, or the boat should I say. But I've not been up this way, So I don't know if it's obvious or not, and Tony said it's a little while since he's been up this way as well. But there we go, this looks about right, doesn't it? Pilgrims Way. Bingo. I think he's probably turning his ABS off. Or is he? Don't know what he's doing. Yeah, the Honda, he said every time he switches the engine off, he has to reset the ABS to switch it off-road. Otherwise, obviously, you have a problem. I did that in Morocco. I was on my Scrambler, my Ducati Scrambler Urban Enduro, the one that everyone uses for coffee shops. Well, I took it to Morocco, and we were flying down this lane, and yeah, this is where the route, this is where the map goes. I'm certain it is. Let's just have a quick check. Yep, I'm happy with this because I looked on the old green map and that's where it said. Yeah, I turned the bike off, turned it back on. I hadn't switched the ABS off, and I came flying down this track. Rocky, dusty, sandy track. Got to a tight left-hand bend. Put the brakes on and just didn't stop. I nearly went straight through the few thin trees and off the edge of a bit of a no, there's a slope that went down, but either way it was rocky. I wouldn't have got the bike back up it. I mean, I was with other people, we would have got it back up, but it would have been in a bit of a bad way. So that was a lesson to switch your ABS off-road. Not that this has got it. Way too old for that. Well, not way too old. You did have ABS back in the day, but this hasn't got it. This is a fairly basic bike. Carburetors, you know, carburetor. You know, the only sort of, I suppose, thing it's got is liquid cooling. But there is a new DRZ out, and they fuel injected it. Well, it'll be for sale in the UK or not, I don't know. And they just restyled it a little bit as well. But it's a, you know, it's a tried and trusted lump. These motors are, they're pretty bomb-proof. You keep the oil changed, keep on top of your maintenance, and they're really bloody good. You know, I know some people have had problems with piston failures and stuff, but that's been, generally speaking, pattern pistons or over revving, and they normally tend to be the supermoto guys rather than the off-road guys, because, you know, we're plodding at, you know, fairly sort of low RPM most of the time. It's not very often that you're going to be caning it. And I know the only issue might be heat. And the E, which this is, doesn't have a fan as standard. Well, I've fitted a fan on a separate switch on the handlebar, which is down there. You saw that? So that in the summer, or if we get stuck anywhere, oh, that's slippery, a little bit off camber, I can bung the fan on just to keep the motor a little bit sweeter. But in the miles I do, it doesn't really hurt to change the oil on a more regular basis. You know, because oil is cheap compared to engines, plus the time to rebuild it really. That's a bit lower. Do you know what I might do? See if we can snap that off, shall we? That's a bit better. Even though I've done that, gee, I'm still going to walk that through rather than sit on the bike. Might make that a little bit easier for the next person. I'm surprised that we've not seen more downed stuff than we have, because the storm was pretty good. I mean, we've been lucky in the south. We just got high winds and a bit of rain. But up north, and a friend of mine in Oxfordshire, he's literally got water. He posted last night that he's got water that's literally almost up to his damp course. So I'm hoping he's okay today. If you watch this, Richard, I hope it all went well. And I know in Wales they've had flooding and stuff, but yeah, down here this is all right. Another little bit. I think Tony's going to try and bust that out of the way. So this is why you take Tony with you, because he's got the ability and the strength to do that. Nice. So there you go. Although this is a bit, I'll say a bit of a dull video, it is dull if you're watching it. It's not so dull if you're riding, because obviously the bike's moving around quite a lot. So for me, it is, I'm working, but you don't get to see that on the video. But you are getting to see a bit of the Pilgrims way, all the bits you can ride. Say other than the bit that was gated. I'm sure there was a reason for that. It might be one of those permit parts. And I know Tony said he's got a permit, but if it's padlocked and you can't remember the code, then that doesn't help. So obviously we just bypassed that. It's 5 minutes, not even that, well, probably 5 minutes, just to bypass and come up to this bit. Right, I'm going to pop the camera, well, let's get around this corner just in case there's something interesting, and then I'll pop the camera off if there isn't. Take your pick. See how brave he's feeling. We're going this way. Alright, second gear, plod along. Yeah, it's definitely slipperier here. Oh, a bit of third gear action, eh? Oh, and a walker with a dog, and he hasn't heard us. He's probably got his headphones in. There's not a lot we can do about that. Trouble is, I don't want to. Tony got lucky and got round that dog, but I don't want to. I don't want to run his sausage dog over. That probably wouldn't make us very popular, would it? Cheers, mate, thank you. Alright, let's catch up with Big T at a sensible speed. Because I've dropped the pressures down, I can see the odd stone sticking out here. I don't really want to bang myself a pinch flat, because that'd just be a pain in the arse. But I want to make sure I leave a bit of distance. Nice, North Downs Way, Hollingbourne, 1/4 mile. That was alright, that. Alright, back in a bit. Now, where we came out just now before we met Sausage Dog Man, you could go right as well as left, and where we got to there wasn't anywhere else to go, so this is where it was. So we're now going right, and this goes quite a long way looking at the route. Now what sort of climate it is, I don't know, but let's give it a go, shall we? It's fairly slippery. Oh, we're up. Yeah, we looked on the green map, but this seems to go quite a long way. Up towards the M2, believe it or not. So we're going to give it a little go. And and see where it goes. That's slippery. That'll teach me to take a hand off the bars to put my visor up on it. Yeah, this is slippery. Proper slippery. We're coming back down this because on the map it didn't look like when we got to the end it didn't actually go anywhere. It was a stop. So the plan is we'd obviously go up this and then we'll be coming back down it the other way, which will probably be a bit slower than going up it. But this chalk is proper slippery. Yeah, that's like ice, that was. Now this doesn't look steep on the camera, I'm sure it doesn't, but it's not bad, you know. It's a nice steady hill. I'm only just making sure I'm still there. Which is probably an indication of how that was, how slippy that was, because obviously it's worth stopping at the top to make sure that you got everyone with you rather than carry on. Boggy today, it's boggy up here. But I'm pretty certain these tyre pressures have helped dropping them down. They don't help on the road, but obviously on the road you're going slowly, you know, you're plodding along. But they've definitely been helping off-road because although the bike's moved around, I've not had the front washing out like it was before. You know, when I had sort of 15 psi or whatever it was in the tyre, 16 psi. Yeah, it's a lot better. So there you go, lesson learned. Every day's a school day. And that's the thing about riding, is you can play with tyre pressures and stuff like that to make sure that where you're riding and what you're riding, it works, or works better. There's obviously been a few people up here recently. That's nice. I'm glad these boots are fairly waterproof because you can feel the water absolutely smashing against your feet when you go through those puddles. Guessing we're nearly at the top. Yeah, it looks like it. Wasn't a bad little route, that. Oh, let's get the camera off while I can still see it, shall we? Here we're going. Alright, that's just a quick stop. Grab a little drink. Have a quick check of the map, and it seems like we turn right and then we're looking for the next boat on the left, which takes us up towards the M2. So it is quite handy having a map that you can keep checking, but the thing that frustrates me a little bit about the green map is that it's not interactive, so you can't actually see where you are. If it was, it would be lovely because you could sit it on the bars of the bike, you could see every route listed, and you could almost, you know, follow it like a proper mapping system. So that's a little bit frustrating. I'm sure the TRF have got some clever people that could do that. Alright. Oh look, it's Steed Hill again. Well, it should be. Yeah. Let's do a map check. Right, map check done. We missed the road. We thought we were further along than we were. Tony said he spotted what looked like the route going almost straight ahead, and then when we zoomed right into the map we could actually see that that's where we should have been. So we've spun around, heading back towards those blue gates where we're going to go left and then right, almost sort of not straight away but close enough straight away. And then the next road we get to is the one we thought we were at now, which is where you do turn right along the road for potentially a couple 100 metres and then turn left up towards the M2. So for those of you that are following this route, I hope that makes a little bit more sense. And again, it's just that is the problem with the green map. You know, it looks like someone has got a pen and, you know, like a felt tip pen, a marker pen, and written on the map. So there we go, byway, with a picture of a 4x4. Yeah, it's not ideal. You know, that is my main criticism of it. Is it is a poor map to follow. But it is a map and it keeps you legal. You just have to keep stopping. Oh. I think the 4x4s have been down here. Yeah, you just have to keep stopping, working out where you are, and getting on the map. And obviously that was the issue, because we thought we were in the wrong place, or we thought we were in a different place than we were. This does make more sense, because on the green map there were some tight bends shown and we hadn't been through any of those, so that does make more sense now. Obviously as we skirt around the edges of fields, I would guess is where you're going to get those 45-degree turns, or 90-degree turns actually. Could you hear my brain ticking over and whirring then, as I was thinking 45, 90. Tone's left his indicator on, but he's standing up, so there's no way he's going to see his dash. This definitely likes being in second gear. It is one of those things where as long as you can knock it up into second and keep yourself rolling, it will just keep going. Which is the beauty of the DRZ. Yeah, another one of these bends. Oh, and a hill. Second gear. Come on, come on, come on. Wasn't expecting that. But the old trusty got up there. It's definitely where I prefer a 4-stroke over a 2-stroke, because my 2-stroke Greenlaning days were with CR250s, which were very peaky, and they would just spin up. I mean, they were bloody quick, mind you, but yeah, they did just like spinning up all the time. Whereas this will get traction, and it will pull you through the muck and the crap. I'm glad we came up this way now, because this is a nice little route. It's a little bit challenging because it is, let's say, a bit boggy, and a bit slippery. And obviously we've got some tight bends and little hills going up and what have you. Oh, this is slushy, look at this. But I think what we're going to do now when we get to the top is we are probably going to do the whole route in reverse. So I'm probably not going to stick the camera on for that because you've seen it all. I might switch it on. Oh, there's a fresh pile of shite, so let's watch out for a pony. That's a puddle. Whee! Yep, that's me officially wet. I'm quite happy. That's nice, they put extra signs in. I guess they want to make sure that people stick to the official route. That is deep. I lifted the toe of my boot up and you could feel it hammering against the sole of your boot along there. Yeah, let's get it to second. Plodding along. But what a bloody great day this has been. Do you know what? People, for a bag of golf sticks you can get yourself a off-road bike. You can get out with your mates and do something a little bit challenging, something that's going to keep you a little bit fitter, because as we're all getting a bit older you need something just to keep the blood pumping and keep the muscles working, and this certainly does it. I mean, we're not flying around, we're not motocross gods, we're just out for a little bimble, but you are having to work and you will get out of breath at times, you know, so you can tell that your body is doing a little bit of work, and you will fall off and you will pick up the odd bruise and bump, you know, and maybe the odd broken bone, but that's part of the fun of it. It's all stories to talk about in the pub, you know. I certainly don't want to be that person stuck in a chair, you know, thinking, what did I do in my life? Well, this is what I did with it. Oh, we got to come back up this. Yeah, this is what I did with it. Oh, right. Yeah. We're not going anywhere down here. That is a proper big tree. I think we will, mate. Yeah. Yeah, there is definitely no way around that. Fucking hell, look at it. Happy days. Right, let's get the bike spun round and see if we can get back up here. It is a hill, so that's going to be good. Catch you soon, rather than you hear me huffing and puffing. And then we spun around, and then we've got to get going up the slope. And we're going. Nice. Yeah, there's no way past that at all, so we're going to head back along the slope, along the track, back up towards the road, and then see where it takes us. So Tony's behind me now because the route was too narrow to get both the bikes through, or rather get him past me starting up the hill. So I pulled over. Oh, I will pull over up here, let him come through, and then he can pick the route. I'll pull over here. Yeah, I'll use this experience, because that is the way I learned, to be fair. It's like when I was road racing. you know, if someone quicker than you came past, you'd hang on the tail of them and you'd see what they did and where, and you try and, you know, follow them around and see where you went or where they went. Most of the time it worked, unless they were really fast. I remember John Reynolds coming past me at Mallory so fast it made me fucking jump on his British Superbike ZX. Would have been a ZX R750 at that point. But that's the difference between, you know, club racers and national racers. So this is a return route. So I'm going to bang the camera off now, because we're going to basically head back the way we just came. And that's deep, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to head back the way we came. So it's going to be pretty much of the same. I might bang the camera back on if it looks like we're going to have some action, but otherwise it's just a couple of old geezers greenlaning. Right everybody, if you're riding, stay safe. If you're not riding, you can watch these crap videos, and I'll see you on the next episode of whatever I'm doing. Oh, let's get past this bog first. Yeah, I'm not going to be one-handed through there. Actually, wasn't there a big hole up here? Yeah, do you know what, let me leave it running, because I think there was a bit of a divot somewhere, so you might get to see a crash, you might not. Well, hopefully you won't, but it was a little bit wafty, wasn't it, as we came up this way. This is a lovely little track, it really is. It's just nice because it's a little twisty, it's nadgery. You can see a reasonable distance ahead, so if someone's coming either the other way or as a dog or a horse, you're going to see them. This is quite dry up here. Have we gone past the puddle? Maybe we have. Maybe we've gone past it. Anyway, stay safe people, and I'll see you on the next episode of whatever I'm doing. Catch you soon, cheers.